Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/prorevenge. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Steal my laundry detergent? Hope you like the bleached clothes look. This happened when I was in college back in 2011. I lived in a 4-story dorm that was all guys, about 40 to 60 guys per floor. Each floor had one laundry room with 3 washers and 3 dryers, plus cubbies to store your laundry bag and soap while you were washing. A few months into the semester, I noticed my laundry detergent was disappearing faster than it should be. Not a huge deal, but mildly annoying. What made it a bigger deal was that whoever was stealing my detergent would also take my clothes out of the washer and leave them on the floor so they could wash their clothes. This pushed me over the line. I would typically do a load while I went to class, not classes. So this made finding the perp tricky. Then, a golden idea hit me. I went to Walmart and bought a new jug of laundry detergent. The same brand I always get, but I also bought extra strength bleach. I poured half the detergent from the new bottle into my old bottle and replaced it with the extra strength bleach. That next day, I did my laundry as usual, but left the new and improved detergent in the cubby instead of my regular stuff. Then I waited. After class, sure enough, my clothes were sitting in a pile on the floor soaking wet, and the whole laundry room smelled of bleach. Just what I wanted. Fast forward to next week. Every Monday night we had floor meetings, where we basically talked about rules and stuff as a floor. In walks the guy, we'll call him Bob, wearing a newly bleached hoodie and ruined jeans. Bob drops his pile of ruined clothes on the floor and starts spouting off about how someone owed him money for his ruined clothes. The whole floor bursts out in laughter. Apparently, I wasn't the only one Bob was stealing soap from. He didn't get another sentence out of his mouth before our RA told him stealing detergent was still a crime, so it was his own dang fault. Enjoy your bleached clothes, Bob. Oh, I really hope he was saving money by not using his own detergent and he used it to buy expensive clothes. And then when he put the expensive clothes in the washer, he completely ruined them. She removes a door. All of her doors are gone. Little side note, this didn't happen to me, but my cousin. Now, my aunt had a partner who will be called Margaret. Margaret and my cousin didn't get along well, always disagreeing and butting heads. My cousin was around 18 at the time and was going to go out to work. One day, Margaret came up to him and told him to clean his room. Him, being a teenager and not really caring enough, simply said, "I will clean my room once I get home from work. I will close my door until then so you don't have to see it." Which was a pretty reasonable agreement. Margaret hated this and just left, and my cousin went to work. Now this is when it gets serious. When my cousin came home, he went into his room and found the door gone, simply removed from its hinges. Now, my cousin was a builder's apprentice and knew how to remove doors and decided to take revenge. He went around the entire house and took off all of the doors from every room except the ones leading outside. Margaret's bedroom door was gone, the bathroom door was gone, living room door was gone, and so on. Now, they had a rumpus room which had 2 larger doors that had a small padlock on it. To get around this, he removed one of the doors off its hinges and left the other one on. So one of the doors were hanging off the other door. Once Margaret found out about this, she got incredibly ticked and just ignored him the rest of the time he lived there. Yeah, who needs doors anyway? It's not like privacy matters or anything. Customer is not always right in my field. So I'm an ASE certified mechanic. I've been wrenching for 22 years. This story happened way back when I was still an oil change tech and learning my way. This customer comes in one day and wants us to look at his brake and put some pads on the car that he brought. The shop manager had me bring the car in to look at. I pull the car in the shop and it is grinding real bad when I hit the brakes. I know it's more than a pad job. So the car goes up, the tires come off, and sure enough, he let his brakes go for so long there is no more brake surface on the rotors. He had worn them down to the cooling fins in the middle of the rotor. I, of course, tell my manager. Well, he told the customer, a crotchety old man, the situation and explains he needs new rotors. We even took him out and showed him there is really no rotor left at all. Naturally, guy gets super ticked, says we are just trying to get more money out of him. We better just do what he wants or he's going somewhere else, blah blah blah. My manager takes it all in as cool as a cucumber. When the dude was finished, my manager did the neatest thing I've ever seen at the time. He very calmly explained that the vehicle needed to be repaired correctly, or he would red flag the car as it was unsafe to drive. Old boy looked like he was going to explode, threatened to call the cops if we didn't return his vehicle. We were just crooks, the whole 9 yards. My boss said it's cool, I'll call them for you. Called in the State Highway Patrol. Showed them the car in front of the customer. They looked at him and said this car is unsafe for the road. He either fixes it correctly or has to tow it out of our shop if he wants to go somewhere else, cause they will not let it on the road. Sad thing is, he ended up paying to have it towed out a few days later, which I'm sure cost more than the $40 for new rotors. I don't know if he got it fixed right or not. Most wrenches out there just want your car to be safe. We run on the same roads. I didn't know this at the time, but I do now, that we do have the authority to lock your car down if it is completely unsafe for the road, until it is fixed correctly or towed somewhere else to get fixed correctly. I love what I do, cause I make the roads safer. I also work in a field where no, the customer is not always right. Old man learned the hard way. A few others in my career have as well. I would say that qualifies for more of a malicious compliance than pro-revenge, but it still goes to show how stubborn some people can be. Like, it's only $40 and your car's gonna be safe. Steal my clearly marked birthday mail? Prepare to pay for it. So my birthday just passed on August the 30th. For the occasion, my mother sent me a birthday card. Now, her birthday/holiday cards are often always those brightly covered Hallmark envelopes, complete with her own fun little stickers on them. What can I say, mum's a hoot. Here was the problem. Back in May, I moved to a new apartment, but in the same complex. Ironically, my mother made sure that the rest of the family had my new apartment number, and she was the one that ended up sending it to the wrong, old apartment address. Mail forwarding had long since expired. However, occasionally we would be notified by the leasing office that the new tenants had dropped off some mail for us. Normally junk or a magazine. Still, it was very polite of them. So I figured I would simply go over and ask if they'd seen this piece of mail. I did, and he was very pleasant. Although, said something like, "We haven't gotten anything from you guys in a while, and my dog can smell money, so I know it wasn't that." All I could think was, I never mentioned anything about money. Why on earth would he mention money? So, I called Dad and told him about trying to track down the envelope. Told him about the comment and asked if there was any money in it. He told me they'd given me a $100 gift card to Bonefish. We made an official inquiry with the post office. Nothing came of it. No letter returned to sender or forwarded to me. Nothing. This idiot saw a bright Hallmark card looking piece of mail, ripped it open, found the gift card and stole it. I thought of all sorts of different things to do for revenge. Complaining to the leasing office, sending him animal poop, sending him a glitter bomb, and many more ideas. Then, genius struck me. It's my girlfriend's birthday today. I had Mum send another card, addressed to my girlfriend with another $100 gift card for another nice-ish restaurant. Knowing Mum, it was either Bonefish, P.F. Chang's, or McCormick and Schmidt's. some chain where the bill can rack up pretty quickly. Except for one thing. The card has nothing on it. Zero, zilch, nada. If the new tenants are honest, they'll make sure we get the card and that will be that. If they do what I think they've already done, then they're going to keep the card, rack up a $100+ bill at one of these restaurants, and slap down my stolen gift card to pay. Then, they'll be informed by their server that the card was declined and that they'll still owe for the full bill. I can't wait, and I'll let you know what I hear happens. The one thing about that is I don't think they'll ever find out. What they should have done is given like an Amazon gift card where when you type in the code, you can see which account or email address it's sent to. I'm sure there's something you could do about that, but then you could confront him. Neighbor's son's life ruined after messing with my maniacal father. This was in 2004, so a while back. Had a horrible son of my neighbor's that played music all night, every night, that blared like a rave and made life awful for us. So my evil dad hatched a plan to ruin his life. We are from the south, and now when they first moved in, we used to shoot guns a lot for fun, and had little games like who had a better shot and stuff like that. Well, they were from Cali, so had never shot or knew anything about guns, and it startled them. They asked us to not shoot during the evening if that was possible, because they host dinner parties quite frequently for their clients, whom are from Cali as well, and the last time, they said they were all scared to death. So, we stopped since they asked politely. We stopped at around 2 to 3 PM before the evening. Then they said they were leaving town for a few months and their son would be there, so if possible they would like my dad to keep an eye on him and check up on him. Well, he partied a lot. My dad didn't say anything about it since he was 21 and it wasn't of his business if he got drunk, smoked, etc. But he looked out for potentially harmful things, like doing something stupid like drinking and driving and stuff like that. And then, the almost nightly raves started about 2 weeks in, and at first we didn't care. Their property, their business. But then it got louder as they built a party area, not but about 50 feet away from our house on their property line. We then just asked nicely to keep it down a little, since they came closer and we had a baby, the second of my 4 sisters, in the house, that was losing a lot of sleep over this. And he acted all smug and said, "It's the country, baby, no noise violations out here," and went on to even say things like, "That's on you, bro, for having a kid." And before anyone says anything, I kid you not, the little prick actually said something that stupid, then proceeded to say, "Your kid's health is not my problem, guy." Now, my dad is not a violent person at all. My dad is quite the pacifist, and believes we can solve more with words than a fist. But don't literally say, "I'm going to ruin your child's health because I'm a jerk," and then act surprised when he starts moving towards you to beat your butt. Needless to say, he, like most jerks, didn't try to fight back, but had his friends jump in front of him whilst he talked smack. My mum talked my dad down as he had his can opener ready to open a can of whoop-ass, and we went back. Well, my dad had enough, so he did what he always does when he would think. He lit a cigarette and sat outside and watched nature. He then, with a skin-crawling, gut-bubbling, devilish smile, turned to me and said, "Son, go get our guns, and bring out the targets. Also, get the cheap ammo, we're gonna burn through it." So, being in a southern state, and just right out of city limits, we shot our guns with extra cheap ammo, all night long, for about 3 weeks. 50 feet from them at targets and ignored them as they pleaded with us to stop. They called the sheriff so much, they started ignoring them and never sent another car, and even threatened to stop calling as what we were doing was very legal. My dad said the last time they came out and told them we are within our rights to do this, he literally said, It's the country, baby. No noise violations out here. And that's true. It's all community regulated. If our nice neighbors asked us to keep it down, we did. That's what you do. You be polite to your neighbor. But this douchebag was the opposite of neighborly. And I doubt couldn't even spell polite. So we continued until he fell into stage 2 of my satanic father's trickery. He told his parents. Mwahahaha is the mental sound my father made with his big Joker's grin as he ran to get his house phone and call them to tell them that we were scaring them with our big bad guns and hunting rifles. Where? While the dang party was still going on. And that was precisely the plan for my dad. You see, my dad played chess, not checkers. And just like a pawn, he moved and manipulated him into thinking it was his idea to call his parents. But it was my dad leading him into that direction all along. My dad, you see, he is a bit manipulative against people he doesn't like. And as a person that has done a combination of sales and hard labor, he knows how to read and play on train of thought and emotion. He could manipulate them into doing whatever he wanted. Well, El Dumbo and his big ears fell for it. You see, his parents didn't want him partying or drinking. And as Christians, they really didn't want him smoking. So when they talked to him, they heard the music and knew immediately that there was a party. My dad very loudly said, "Young man, I need to speak with your parents about this. I smell the green plant, you reek of alcohol, and these parties are getting out of hand." His parents heard him say that and ordered him to put my dad on the phone. He then told them everything, but made it sound like the son wouldn't give him the number to their hotel. Before the mass popularity of everyone having cell phones, they were older people, like in their late 50s. Which was true, but he technically never asked further after the first time that he did. He then told them about the state of their and our property because of this. And anyway, they were back in only 7 hours via flight. They were coming back that day, and that was the part of the plan as well, and found the place trashed. They not only apologized, but offered us a vacation. They owned some hotel in LA, I don't remember which one, it was like a 3-star, and gave us a 2-week pass, free food, etc. It was fun. We didn't lose anything in LA, which is a very nice southern way of saying I would never live there, even if you paid me. But it was fun nonetheless. Heard they kicked him out too after that, since he refused to look for a job and refused to work for the family business. Best part is, since his parents were honest people, they told the dean of his college he was attending that they will no longer be paying his tuition. So if he doesn't get you the money, to drop his butt. And that is what they did. Future ruined, now working at the local McDonald's and lives in a rundown part of his town instead of his family's really nice 6-bedroom 4-bath house. GG. My first thought about this was, oh, the baby's trying to get more sleep, so this guy decides to shoot guns and make a lot of noise. But he did mention right at the bottom in the comments that his wife or mum and the 2 daughters went to go stay with the grandparents because it was so loud. So yeah, that kind of makes up for it. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.